Yo, 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 it's your girl Jekasole, aka Bars and Baby Hairs, and I'm here with Stoli, tapped in for another stolen conversation.
Welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Stolen Conversations. Glad to see you made it. Hey, if you haven't been here before, if you're just tuning in, welcome. This is a conversation that is stolen. You feel me? Jekka was just asking me, where'd you get that from?
Yeah.
Well, the idea is having conversations you wouldn't otherwise hear, on a day-to-day. So, welcome back to another episode. So today's guest already dropped her name, but she is a artist. Known each other for a little while, sort of acquaintances through some mutuals.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited for today's conversation. Without further ado, Bars and Baby Hairs herself,
You feel me?
Jekasole. What's going on? Appreciate you coming on.
Hey, man, it's good. It's good to be here.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Like I told you, I'm excited. I don't know what we about to talk about,
You don't know
but I'm
what
excited.
we about to talk about. Is there anything that's you didn't tell me? Is there anything off limits or?
For the most part, no.
I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yeah, I
You
was
know,
like-
if you
I
don't
was
want to
like,
answer,
We'll
it's all
cross that
good.
bridge when we get there, but for the most part, I'm pretty open.
Cool. What's on your mind today before we get into anything? What's going on?
For the most part, I'm trying to figure out why it's so hot in Florida.
What?
Like,
Yo, summer is
That's what I'm
coming.
trying to figure out. But outside of that, just that, and then trying to get ready for the next week that's about to embark because work is very crazy right now. So I'm like, just thinking about that. I shouldn't be, but I'm thinking about it because it's my team.
Got you. What you got coming up, or next week, or what? You
So
say you're working. What's going on?
So I work for a university. So
Got you.
essentially, we have orientation and just like summer sessions starting. So it's when everybody's coming back from their little mini spring term
Mm-hmm.
and coming back to school. We got the incoming freshmen coming in, a lot of parents coming in. Everybody's trying to figure out their money, trying to figure out how they're going to pay for college.
Got you.
So yeah,
Pretty
outside of-
hectic.
very much,
Yeah.
but I enjoy what it is that I get to do. So
That's good.
yeah.
You should. You know, they say that famous saying: "You never work a day in your life if you love what you do."
I don't know. There are some days where I question though. Is it
Yeah.
worth it?
Yeah. I hear you. Sometimes you gotta do what you need to do
So you could do.
so
what
you can do what
wanna
you want to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I tell myself every morning.
Facts.
Every morning.
So normally, I go sort of all the way back. I like to kind of talk about upbringing.
Mhm.
People raised different. I think that it kind of makes you who you are, where you were, environment. We
Mhm.
talk about those things. So, where are you from?
So I'm originally from Miami, Florida.
Okay.
I actually moved out here once I graduated with my bachelor's in 2019. So I moved out here, and then COVID happened, and just
What you got your bachelor's in?
I got it in business administration with a focus in marketing, actually.
Okay then.
Yeah, kind of did it with the intention because of what I do with music. I was
Right.
like, I want to learn how to do this for myself, so that in the event when I start doing things, I know what I'm doing, and if once I get to that place where I actually hire people to do it, ain't nobody running no game on me, fam. You can't play me
Right.
if I know the playbook.
Yeah, that's good. They
So-
say also you shouldn't have somebody do something for you if
Mhm.
you've never done it yourself.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, obviously you hire people to do certain tasks and things for you that you can't.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like delegation, and especially with like the music career, you want to learn it first a little bit and then be like, all right, cool. Now, you can take this.
Got you.
What was the thought to move to Orlando?
Hmm. I didn't want to be honest. I had my whole life in
Mm-hmm.
Miami, so it was like once I moved out this way, it's kind of just it's honestly how I ended up writing my song Separation Anxiety, cuz that's essentially what I was going through. It was I was leaving behind everything I knew, everybody that I loved, to be in a place that I had no friends, no roots pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And just starting over. Orlando is very different, as far as like how people drive, the way that people live out here. In Miami, everything's super fast paced to the point where I've gotten so accustomed to how things are here.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever I do travel down south, it's a lot for me because it's
Really?
like my anxiety starts to go up because I'm not used to how they do things as fast that they did out there. So,
What was something else getting to Orlando that was kind of, I guess, different or culture shock or
um,
aside from the pace?
aside from the pace, I mean, where I live is really just in Little Puerto Rico, to be honest. So I live in Kissimmee. So we have Spanish food galore. I think the shock for me was
You speak Spanish?
I do. I'm Puerto Rican.
Got you. Okay.
But for the most part, it's not my first language, so I don't brag about that.
Okay.
But I really just speak it
It's
to
like
my
spoken in the house.
spoken in the house or when
Got
I
you.
need to bring it out.
Got
Let
you.
people know that I know what they're saying.
Right.
But for the most part, I think the culture shock was not having the little bodegas around me.
Mm.
Like back in Miami, them things was on every corner. Over here, it's like you gotta drive 25, 30 minutes, and sometimes the spots you find are mid.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, well,
The bodegas, Miami, and I think like New York.
yeah,
New York got all those little hole in the wall shops
they
and
be the best
stores.
though.
Yeah,
The best.
facts.
So that was like my culture shock for me. And then outside of that, is just for the most part, like I said, where I live is just a lot of Spanish people.
Mm-hmm.
But I do notice that it's very rare as opposed to Miami being like a huge melting pot. Up here, it's just a little different.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean Miami, you're basically in Puerto Rico. You go further far enough south, right?
Nah, for the
No.
most part, it's like if you're in Miami, it's like essentially they kind of depending what side you're, it's like, oh, you're in Cuba, because there's a lot of Cubans.
Cuban. That's
Yeah,
what I meant. My fault.
Cubans up here in Kissimmee. Oh yeah, that's little Puerto Rico.
Got you.
Yeah.
When did music come into your life?
So it came in pretty early. I was in middle school at the time when it came in my life. I actually started off doing poetry first.
Okay.
But then I saw my older cousins, like him and his friends would be, because the way that our house was set up is that we had an efficiency in the back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where he lived. And then our house was in the front. So when I would go to the backyard, he'd be with his boys and they just be there like freestyling all afternoon. And I would always just listen and watch. I'm like, hey, I want to learn how to do that. And essentially he went ahead and he was like, okay. And every day he gave me like homework assignment. He was like, you need to write 4 bars every single day.
Nice.
And then to the point where he's like, he just kept raising up the bar, 4, 8, just keep going all the way till I get to 16. And then eventually it was like second nature.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, he does music, and it was actually just one of my biggest influences because like he showed me how to use Pro Tools. He showed me how to just learn how to do different things, how to use my voice in different ways. So watching my cousin is essentially what got me interested. And then as I got older, it was my way to express myself.
Mm.
So
And then when did it go from like just an expression to now, I guess, when did you be like, all right, I'm going to take this serious?
2017. So 2017 is when I was actually able to like put myself in an actual recording studio, get an actual sound engineer, and just be able to put together a whole project, going through the cover art process, going through just the release party parts process and things like that. That was when I was like, okay, like we're this is not a hobby no more. Like we're actually gonna do something with this. We're gonna invest. And I was so blessed because the studio time that I was paying for, you're not gonna find prices like that.
Mm.
You're not gonna find prices like that, and it was in blocks. So it really worked out in my favor, and that was one of my biggest things. Cause what I would do is I was walk around campus and then just play the instrument on the phone and just rap out loud. And I remember telling God like, hey, like if this is something you want for me, then you gotta show me. You gotta make the way happen. I didn't know anyone. I didn't know nobody that had a studio that was worth my time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, for the most part, I wanted to be with someone that knew what they were doing, cause I could be at home doing it with people that we all trying to figure it out. But I wanted to invest in. I want somebody who knows what they're doing,
Right.
so that I can just focus on doing my part, which is showing up. So, but yeah,
Showing up.
2017 was that turning point for me, and then it just really, what was the word I'm looking for? The momentum kind of just really shook up once COVID came, because that's when my sound, like my whole sound, did a 180, where I was able to really find like, okay, this is the direction I want to go in.
Got you.
hmm
Were you doing anything else before music, or like growing up? Were you in sports or doing anything extracurricular, drama club?
So I was in band for the
Okay.
most part. I was in marching band all through middle school, and then in high school, I did maybe like 1 year of soccer. That was it. I realized that it wasn't for me.
Not you.
No, it was too hot. So practice, and I was just tired. But I did marching band for the most part. Then outside of that, it was just I went to school and I worked. I worked at different places for a minute. Um, but outside of that, that's just kind of really what I did. I was very involved with my church at home. Eventually became like a youth leader for a little bit, and we just kind of ran it like that. So that's essentially where I started honing my craft and being able to, perform in front of people and things like that. So my youth leader or pastor at the time, he was very big, where he'd be like, "Yo, Jack, I need you." So
Mm-hmm.
I never knew when he was gonna call on me. So I made it a point where every day I was practicing as if I had a show the next day.
That was good.
Yeah.
Stay
So
ready, so you ain't gotta get ready.
exactly. So
Did you kind of getting into some more, I guess, personal stuff, and then
Mhm.
we'll talk about the music. But
Sure.
did you always did you grow up in like a God and Christian household,
No,
or what was your
no,
how
no,
did
no.
God come into your life?
So for the most part, growing up, my mom and my dad had a reverence for God and who He was, but it wasn't something that we were actively doing. Like, if being honest, we went to church like most of the population when it's a celebration, Mother's Day, Easter,
Christmas
Christmas.
Eve, yeah.
Just that. You show up and then you disappear for the rest of the year.
Mhm.
It wasn't until my mom and my dad divorced where my mom really just was like, that's where she kind of was like, yo, I'm going to actually take my relationship serious with God. And she would take us to church with her. I'm talking about 7 days a week. I was in that mug. And at one point in time, I hated it so much because I was like, I felt like I didn't have a life.
Mm.
I got to the point where when I got old enough to say no, I didn't go. And it wasn't until I got a little bit older and I was like, you know what? It's like I'm curious to find out who this God is for myself, not what my mom says, not what the pastor's saying, like for myself. And I was going through a lot of changes. I'm the oldest out of three of my siblings, so it was like a lot of it fell on me to be the strong one, to kind of delegate and just be there for my mom. So for the most part, it was like, okay, God, I need your help. I don't know how you're gonna do this, but if you're real, you're gonna show me.
Mhm.
And that's how it played out for me. And then eventually, my brother and my sister fell in line. They got involved with dance ministry and things like that. I was in it too for a little bit, and then I realized that wasn't what I was supposed to do. And it kind of sucked because I invested a lot of money in the
Mm.
outfits and things like that. Um, but it gave me the opportunity to figure out what it was that I was supposed to be doing. And my home church was actually like the people that allowed me to really push the music. And on top of that, like they let me host my album release party and everything like that at the church. And they were just very supportive of everything that I was trying to do, because that was my main thing. I was like, okay, God, now that I'm I want to be serious with you, it's like I feel like I need to do something, and I saw everybody was doing that, so I was like, maybe that's what I should be doing, and it wasn't. So years later, I'm fine with doing it by myself. I actually started off as a group with me and my brother when we first started, and then after that, it was like we kind of just went our separate ways. So he still does music. He just does it on his own now.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Um, how old were you when your parents split?
12.
12. You still have good relationships with
Mhm.
them? Both of them?
Yeah. So with my dad, it did take some time, like about 10 years or so, cuz I had a lot of animosity and just like
Mm.
just a lot of different feelings, cuz he ended up getting remarried pretty quick, and then I had step siblings and things like that, and it was just a lot of change in a short amount of time. So growing up, it was like,
I mean, especially that age range too.
bro,
Yeah.
I was like, what? And the crazy part is, it's just like at one point in time, I thought, because me and my stepsister actually have the same birthday. So at one point in time, when I was younger, in that stage, I was like, you're trying to replace me. Like you even got another daughter with the same birthday.
Same day.
That's how deep it got for me. But luckily enough, as we got older and things like that, my stepsister actually had her first daughter, and sadly enough, she did end up passing away before she turned 1. But I do feel like she was what needed to happen in our lives to bring us to a better place where me and my stepmom have a great relationship. Me and my dad have an amazing relationship. Even to the point now where it's like my mom, my dad, and my stepmom like are on that cordial level. Took a lot of time to get there, but we here.
Being adults about it.
Being adults about it. So it's dope to me because I know that it's not a normal thing, you know. So it's just either like, okay, well, you have the 2 different homes to 2 different families, and you kind of just keep it that way. So the older that I gotten, being able to see that they are able to kind of everybody be adults about everything and come together. Now I have a niece that she's 7 months, and I think it's a beautiful thing that she gets to be around all her grandparents.
Right.
So, you know.
Family kind of got bigger.
Yeah, it did. Definitely did.
Yeah.
But family's important to me. So that was always the frustrating part, because it was like, it always felt like I had to pick a side.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, you don't have kids, do you?
No kids.
Family.
I live vicariously through my sister, though, because she has a daughter.
Got you.
So that, in my own way, that's my daughter, too. So
Are you interested in
having
kids, family?
One day, when the right person comes along, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, ain't no rush.
Yeah. No rush for me.
Absolutely.
Listen, if y'all don't got no kids, I encourage you, go to the store, go look at how much some diapers cost, okay? Look at the diapers. If your baby don't take to nursing, look at how much formula costs. I'm telling you right now, expensive.
Gotta have that game plan.
Like,
something in place.
that, and then they grow so fast. Bro, they grow so fast. Like, you buy all the little clothes, and before you know it, like
6 months later, you getting new sizes. Right?
sizes, and it's just like you got so much clothes that it's like you didn't even get to put that on them yet.
Yeah.
So I'm like living vicariously, just watching how my sister raises her daughter, and then, you know, being a very present auntie.
Nice.
Yeah, I love my
Cool.
niece.
That's what's up. So getting into the music, you know, I do my research. If you didn't know, well, now you know.
I know.
You brought up separation anxiety,
Mm-hmm.
and when I listened to that, you know, I actually it resonated with me a lot, because there's been a lot of periods in my life, and even in a season I'm in now,
Yeah.
where trying to, you know, grow and elevate and feel like you're being called to something greater.
Yeah.
But the environment you're in, or the people around you, or just, you know, not saying anything bad or trying to, you know, talking negatively about, but it's just like, you know, you want to put yourself in a better situation, higher vibrational
Yep.
environment, and people are like crabs in a bucket.
Yep.
You know, so you said you made that song when you moved to Orlando,
Mhm.
or it was because of your leaving of friends in Miami. How did you? I mean, I guess moving makes it a little bit easier,
Yeah.
but how did you, I guess, emotionally deal with that and being like, no, I can't hang out with you guys anymore, or I'm trying to do this. I'm not trying to do these same worldly things, and
Got you. I'm gonna be honest. It was very hard because at the time it was like, granted, like even like what I said with the song is like, love you, but I've been chosen. Like it's it's the fact of like knowing that it's like it's no shade to you. I'm not saying that you're bad people, and things like that. It's like I love you. I will always love you. I will always, if you need something, like I got you. But at the same time, it's just like I can't stay in this environment if I want to thrive. And that was kind of the hard part because a lot of these people were people that I've been friends with since I started grade school. So it's just like, granted, we're still in contact. It's just a matter of we don't get to hang out as much, and it was just a thing of like really just being able to be assertive and like you guys don't have to change who you are, but just know like there's just certain things that I'm not willing to do anymore. And if you want my presence, you have to let me be that.
Yeah.
And not make me feel bad because I don't want to join in on something, because that was the issue too.
Right.
So it's just like, bro, it's like
like guilt trip, or
yeah,
you got like
oh,
FOMO or something.
You don't do this with us no more.
Yeah.
Da 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 da. You brand new, and it's just like, bro, like that's the point. Like we're supposed to grow. We're supposed
Change.
to evolve.
Yeah.
And granted, for the most part, it was like I know everybody had mixed feelings about it. A lot of it was like, yo, I don't think you should leave, and I'm like, well, I kind of have no choice. Granted, I had options that I could have stayed down there. At the time, I was with someone that they offered, like, hey, you could just live with me and we'll figure it out. Like, so many options in front of me, but I was like very much dedicated, and I was like, God, my words to him exactly, I don't want to piss you off. Like, if this is where you want me to be, even though I don't see how everything's going to come into fruition, like, you have to make it plain, make it clear. And the funny part is that all the job offers and things like that I was asking for, they weren't happening in Orlando. They were all happening there. But it was always like a test for me, because I'm like, all these things are here, but it doesn't feel right. I can't explain it. Everybody's looking at me like I'm crazy. And I'm like, nah, this is not it. And when I left, I didn't have no job up here. I didn't know how none of my bills was going to get paid. That was the stressful part too. And then at the same time, it was like the realization of like, your friends are going to be your friends, but in the reality, everybody has their own life going on. So it's like, no matter how much you want me to stay here, it's like, I got to do better for myself. And sometimes that means stepping away and knowing that it's not you. It's just, I got to do better for myself. And this is what better looks like for me. Unfortunately, on the emotional level of things, because it was hard. I ain't gonna hold you. It took me a while before I stopped coming down as often, because even though I moved away, I was down in Miami every other weekend.
Got you.
Like every other weekend, but at the same time, I was really just mainly there to be with my boyfriend at the time.
Got you.
So it was like I really went there to go be with him, and then whenever I was able to see my family, and my little cousins and things like that. But outside of that, eventually I was like, okay, it's like I was already graduated from college. All my friends that were still there were still in college. So I was like, I feel like I'm trying to live in the past. That's how I started to feel. They're like, no, it's fine. Da-da-da-da, you can stay with us. I'm like, I'm not on this level no more. Like,
right.
I need to move. And it was like, sometimes looking at like someone trying to offer you support can also be the thing that also holds you back. because you're not allowing yourself to really see what you're capable of without the safety net.
Amen. Hey, bars. You feel me? No, it's good to hear you say that because, yeah, I mean, it can be tough for sure.
Well, it was.
Especially, I mean, I've been in Florida, if you don't know, 10 years now. So I moved here from Vermont. So even just, I mean, you said people with like from elementary school or whatever, even just me being down here, knowing people for a few years, and it can be tough, you know, people you rocking with, and it can be tough for sure. So
it can, especially if they were a part of your everyday life.
Yeah.
Because at that point, it's essentially like you're mourning. No one likes.
Yeah, you had a loss. You literally, part of your day is gone,
Part of your day is gone, and it's just adjusting to see, okay, now what do I put in replace of that? That's gonna help me or hurt me? Because there's a lot of things you could put in the place of it, but you gotta be mindful what you putting in this place.
For sure. Couple songs I'd like to hear some more about.
Okay.
The Voices. So that was a pretty sick video my guy made. Shout out Made.
Hey.
We gonna talk about Made a little bit later, but what was the how did you come up with that song?
So to be honest, I was going through a lot, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, just a lot of things. And at that point in time of my life, I just felt like I couldn't hear God. I felt like I was hearing every other voice around me, telling me how to live my life, telling me how they think I should do things and stuff like that. And I remember
you were in Orlando at that.
I was
time, right?
in Orlando.
Yeah.
But again, at this point in time, it was a lot of things that I was still carrying around with that I hadn't let go of yet. So during this whole process with Voices, I was on Instagram one day, and one of my boys, shout out to Avi, he had put up a link for like a bunch of beats that he was gonna go sell, and it was, I don't know, he was doing a special. I went and I listened, and I found this one, and I was like, yo, instantly it was just like water. Lie awake at night, what is in my mind? And I was just like, I need this.
Those are the ones, right?
I was
when
like, I need this. So I hit him up. I was like, yo, this, how much? And then the rest was history. And then it really was just trying to finish out the song, because I came up with the hook, I came up with the first verse, and after that, the second verse was actually my most challenging part. It was about a few months before I actually got to finish the second verse, because it was just so many things going on. I actually ended up going to Maid's house so that we could finish the second verse, because it was just so much going on where I couldn't focus. So many voices that I could not focus, and I was like, I need to focus. But it's really just to shine the light on the fact of like seeing where was it I was, being honest, where it's just like, at one point in time, I really did feel like I was drowning. I felt like I didn't have nothing to believe in. I wasn't happy with where I was. And it was just like, God, what do I do? And at the same time, it's like looking at, am I living or am I doing things that I'm supposed to be doing, or not supposed to be doing? And in the side of that, it's just like, okay, well, if you are doing these things, and are you doing it to the best of your ability? And outside of that, it's like, if you're not doing it to the best of your ability, then, what can you do better? But a lot of it was just shame. Like, there's a lot of choices I made in my past, and it's just like, they were really weighing me down. And that's why with the second verse, it was just like, at this point in time, it's like, it ends where, what is it? What did I say? I said, only put my trust in the God that I believe in. So it's just like, I was putting my trust in so many different people, and I was being let down. I was putting trust in myself, and I was letting myself down. Um, and it was really just my cry to God, like, hey, I promise you help me through this. You're the only person I'm putting my trust in, and I don't care what anybody tells me. If you don't want me to go somewhere, I'm not going. Kind of bringing it all the way back to separation anxiety, where it's like, I didn't want to come up here, but I felt like I was supposed to come up here. And despite of how I felt, I came up here.
Yeah.
And I'm here. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't see myself going back to South Florida, to keep it a buck with you. Is wild out there. I was just down there recently for my boy's engagement, and I'm like, I don't miss being out here. I miss the food. Definitely miss the food. But everything else, I'm like, y'all could keep it. Y'all could keep it.
You like the kind of more slower.
I mean, for the most part, I just gotten accustomed to how everything is up here. Like, it's just down there where we lived in an area where now it's heavily praised. But back then, it was basically the hood, Wynwood.
Wynwood.
So, they gentrified the whole neighborhood.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, it's like back when I was there and it felt like home, it was everything. Now, when I go down there, it really just feels like my neighborhood now is just full of high rises and clubs and, little shops. So I'm like, it don't feel like home anymore. It feels like essentially like I'm walking on South Beach. And South Beach never felt like home to me. South Beach is actually pretty dirty to me.
So the 2:15.
2:25.
Yeah, I like that video.
Hey.
That was cool. Different perspective, you know what I mean? You went on the roller coaster. What was it?
It was like a
theme.
It was a little.
It was like those teapot spinner type of thing.
Yeah, it was like this park that they had in Altamont. Like, it's like a little fair that they do every year.
Got you.
So we went on that mug. Listen, we took the camera on that when we shouldn't have.
What? I was gonna say, how y'all?
We snuck it in.
That's what's up. Hey, for the shot.
For the shot. Anything for the shot. It's funny because there was a little girl sitting on the other side, and we was just like
in the thing with you,
all the way on the other side, and we were just like, May was just like, just look at me. And like once we finished, we just looked at the little girl, and she looked so confused.
Yeah,
what and we were just doing? Like, just anything for the shot. Because when we got in there, they were really on some, you need a permit, type of thing.
Right.
So we had to make it do what it do. But it was dope, like first person view of like being on a date.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was cool. Different perspective.
Yeah.
So what is that's more like a remembrance type of song, or?
I mean, for the most part, right now it is. But at the time when I made it, it was for someone. Where it was just me just kind of just showing, my feelings and things like that. Because I like to look at myself as like I'm very loving, but at the same time, because of the environment that I grew up in, it's hard for me to be in my soft girl era. I'm more of a thug. So I'm just like, that was my way of being able to like, okay, this is how I let you know how I feel. And I'm being assertive and letting you know what's up, because I feel like it's taboo where it's like the men always have to let you know how they feel, and then they're kind of just like in limbo of like, well, does she feel the same way about me? And that was my way of being like, yo, so you don't ever have to question me, like, this is how I feel, and this is what it is. So you let me know what's up. If anything, you let me know what's up.
Ball's in your court now.
Pretty much. So.
Okay. Yeah, I like both of those. I thought both the songs. Both the visuals were fire.
And when them say that water was cold, okay, don't be fooled. That water
was
cold.
the ocean.
Okay, that water was freezing.
Yeah.
And this one over here is like, yeah, go ahead, throw the water up. I was like, yo,
anything for the shot, baby.
Anything for the shot.
We gotta get this shot in.
And I'm there,
already
like,
knowing.
Me laughing is me saying it's freezing. That's literally is I'm like hitting the water up in the air. I'm like, yo, this is cold. And he's like, go. My I think the sad part of that day was he was like, go further into the water, and it's like my heart just wanted to cry a little bit because I'm like, it's cold, and he was like, bro, I promise you, just trust, just trust me.
The shot gonna be
the shot gonna just trust. He's like, just watch, just listen.
Right.
But it came out dope. My mom says that's actually like her favorite video, because for the most part, she said it's the video where she sees me smiling the most. She was like, this is everything. She was like, I She's like, I don't see you smile as much as you did in the video. And I'm like, I smile. I was like, just for the most part, I was like, made me laugh. I'll smile.
Yeah. So when did you and Made link up?
That's a funny story. So the guy who actually produced Voices,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we were mutual friends. We knew each other first. He knows Made.
Okay.
So we had made a song. Me and Avi, we made a song together. It was called Sincerely. And at the time, he basically called on Sir, and May came with Sir to come and shoot a video for us.
Sir, yo, shout out Sir. I hope that man is good. I haven't spoken to him in a while.
Yeah, so like they came out, and we did it at one of Avi's homeboys' houses. Like they had like a lake, and it was really dope. We never used the video, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But during that time, I remember meeting Made, and he was like, yeah, because I asked him like what he did, and he was like, oh, I'm audio engineer, this, that, and the third. I actually work at Plus Studio, da da da. Whenever you want to come through, like just, we could book a session, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool. And this was right before the pandemic happened. Then once the pandemic happened, I got called to do a virtual concert, and I needed someone to shoot like a live performing
Got
thing.
you.
And I had asked Avi, I was like, yo, I was like, that guy that I met, Made, I was like, you think he'd be willing to, like, if I hire him to do whatever? He was like, yeah. He's like, I'll ask him. And then once I went there, it really just started off really just business, being honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
So we went in, we did some shots for Separation Anxiety. We did it for another record that I have that's called In Love. And it was just really, really dope. And then from there, I ended up hitting him up for his mixing and mastering services, because something had happened where the person that I was using, it wasn't working. So we just had to move forward. And I remember asking God, I was like, God, I don't know nobody out here. Like,
You're right.
what am I supposed to do? And I remember that's what he told me that he did. So I had him, mix an EP for me. And after that, it was just like, okay. And then we just really became really good friends in the midst of it. That's the crazy part. Because we both was just like, bro, this is just business. I think you're dope. You think I'm dope. Cool. And go. But during that time from 2020 until now, it was like we really learned like how to be friends. And then outside of that, it was like he's also like one of my main producers now too. So
Dope.
you feel me? Like it just, mind you, it didn't start off that way.
Well, right. But then low key, this dude Made
Yeah.
resurgence.
Yeah.
This dude's a whole artist out here as well.
Exactly. So
Talk about it.
listen, it's so funny because when we put together Resurgence, we did it last year in a writing camp. Is when we actually finished the song, but we started it early last year, and he had produced the beat. He was like, "Yo, Jack, I got a beat. Let me know what you think." Da 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 da. And we was at one of his his old place that he was at before the one he's in now, and we was recording in his little studio that he had set up for us, and it was starting to sound fire. Then when we went to the writing camp, I remember going to Walmart. Okay, left that man to do what he do, like at the Airbnb, just do what he do, and then.
Sorry, this is for the song.
Yeah.
When you recording the song, okay.
Yeah. So then when we came back to the Airbnb, it was me and one of my other friends that we had basically did the camp together. This man had the whole hook, and I was like, "Yo, play that back real quick." And funny enough is that when he played it back, I was like, this is perfect. And essentially, at first, I was going to be the one to sing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we started just, like, listening, and he was like, yo, like, what do you think? And I was like, you know what, bro? I was like, I think, yeah. I was like, let's keep you on it. And we're going to make you one of the main artists on it. And we're going to go ahead and do a video and da-da-da-da-da-da. And he was just like, nah, bro, like, you don't have to do that for me. I was like, bro, I ain't doing this for you. I was like, I'm doing this because I think you're fire. And I think that it has to be showcased in a way where people can see that you're more than just whatever it is that they know you for. So for the most part, I know a lot of people hit me up like, yo, what can he not do? And I'm like, I don't know yet. But it was dope because I know from what he shared with his music and things like that, it was just like him being able to express himself and working with someone that it was just like, it was like an answered prayer for the both of us. So it was just really, really dope. And then even that, it was like he put out his own project in 2022 with his My Kind of Crazy EP. And it's just like, bro, like nigga, you're dope. Like, I think you're fire. Like, you're hiding. But he's not really hiding. He's just doing other things. But, you know, for the most part, I find a lot of pride and, like, just being able to share that when we're able to do things that it's just like, you see him, you see me.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, like, knowing that we can both shine separately, because I think that's a big part too. I think a lot of people have that fear of like, this guy sounds better than me, so I gotta keep him in the shadows.
Right.
And it's like, nah, bruh. Like, God can't bless you that way if you keeping like the people that He wants in the forefront with you. If you're afraid because they gonna outshine you. Like,
just hold on. Say that one more time. What was that?
Bruh, listen, you can't keep the people that God wants in the forefront with you because you're afraid that they're going to outshine you. Bro, you blocking your own blessing like that.
Hey. Y'all heard that? I know there's some people out there that needed to hear that. So,
bro, it's just like I'm not big on gatekeeping. So even when we started working and everybody was hitting me up like, yo, do you think he'll do this? You think he'll do that? I'm like, ask him.
Yeah.
You feel me? And then even when we go to places in certain rooms, it's like, yo, like this is da 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 da. This is what he does, and then just go from there. Because at the end of the day, it's just like my job, where I take pride in, is being able to connect people. So if I'm able to connect, you guys connect, great. If you don't, that's fine too. But even he could tell you, anybody that I've connected him with is it's thick. It fit. So that's how I know that like it's a God thing, and I think that's essentially what can stop people from getting blessed because they're so worried about, well, what about the attention on me? What about the attention on me? And that's the thing, you gotta check your ego, leave it at the door. But a lot of people won't do that though.
Amen.
So, you know,
that's cool.
Kevin Hart said it when Drake and Chris Brown squashed the beef. He was like, yo, he's like, I'm so happy y'all squashed this because he was like, there's enough money to be made for everybody. He's like, it doesn't make any sense why you guys would be in this situation because it's not like there's not enough room for everybody to shine. There's not enough room. He's like, there's more than enough room for everybody to shine. And something my boss told me yesterday, she was like, if you want to go somewhere fast, you go by yourself.
Yeah.
But if you want to go far, you go together. And that's just been my thing. And it might take me a little bit longer, but trust, the people that I'm coming with.
People also say it's crowded at the bottom. There's room at the top. Yeah. Because there ain't too many people at the top.
Exactly.
All the competition, ego, that's low vibrational, you know?
It is. You need them high frequencies, bro. And that's the thing. You getting around a circle of people that everybody's not on the same frequency, you're going to have the tension. You're going to have the people that are intimidated by you instead of looking at you as an asset. Like, bro, why would you want to be the main person to do everything? Like, that's a God complex. That's scary, bro. You got to check yourself.
That's tiring.
You got to check yourself. But, you know, it is what it is.
Are there any artists that you are interested to be working with? I see you got a song, and he's in a few videos. Scooty Wop.
Yep.
He's doing things.
He is doing a lot of
things. Any other artists you interested in working with?
There's a lot, actually. For the most part, it's just waiting on the right time. But mainstream and even within like the Christian hip hop, it's a handful of artists KB's one of them. I would love to do something with some of the Christian R&B artists that are coming out now too. So like, I think Sam Rivera is fire. Like that boy's tone is like butter. So I'm like, I think he's fire. I got a few of my friends that I'm blessed to have those relationships that I think they're fire, and we're just working on different things. Um, if I'm able to tone with Tripoli and Lecrae, I think 16-year-old me would be very happy to see that happen. And then on the mainstream side of things, I would love to do something with Chris Brown. I would love that. I would love to do something with Chris Brown. I would love to do something with, what's her name, Kaylani. I would love to do something with Summer Walker. I would love to do something with Don Tolliver. Like just very melodic people.
Music.
Like music. Like I would love it. There's a girl that I found recently from one of my friends. She's based out in Houston, I believe, and her name is Justin Martin. It's like her voice. Oh my goodness, her tone. I'm like, bruh, fire. There's a guy here in Orlando. I've never met him, but I found him recently, and he's dope. His name is Isaiah Falls. I would love to do
I've heard of Isaiah. Yeah, he's going crazy too.
Yeah. So I found him, and I'm just like, yo, like I think he's fire, but whenever that time comes. But for the most part, like those are the main ones that I would like to get off my bucket list, if possible.
Got you. Tap in. You heard? Yeah, the Christian rap scene has been blowing up the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, it has.
People looking for something different.
They're looking for substance, bro.
Substance.
That's what they're looking for.
A positive message. Look, I wrote that. Positive message. I'm not trying to hear about. We won't even talk about it. But yeah, like, what are you saying? That's what I'm listening to lyrics. Like, I'm trying to hear something encouraging, empowering, insightful.
Yep.
Put me on some game.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think as far as within the space, there's a lot of like pioneers that have been able to like do a lot, and then the fact of even like the new generation where they're able to like do some crazy things. So I was blessed enough to be able to like see Scooty and like just his escalation to like where he is now, and just being able to see him, people like Miles Minnick, people like Mike Teasy, just like being able to kind of just see all that, and just like, wow, like, God, you know what, like if you can do it with them, like I know that you could do it with me. Even with Caleb Gordon's a big staple within Okoye. So like even being there, like I even came out on one of his Christmas albums. So like that was really dope for me too. And he's just a super genuine person, and just things like that. But as far as within the space itself, I think it's been super dope to see a lot of my friends just being able to have like the momentum that they do, and when they're off of the camera per se, it's like they're the same people.
Nice.
That I met. So I think that's super dope. And then outside of that, it's the way of being able to be creative with your message, but at the same time just like not sound cliche. I think that's what's been kind of like the fun part in being able to see and how the culture has been able to kind of just shift and adapt. Because before, you feel me, it depends on what you listen to. Then you'd be like, okay, it's kind of cringe and you don't want to listen to it. But at the same time, too, a lot of it became where a lot of people didn't want to listen to it because they felt as if they were being attacked. Oh, you're going to, like, basically in the sense of you're going to hell because.
Got you.
Yeah. Like that type of energy. And it's just like, nah, bro, like, God is love. And at the same time, yeah, we need to be mindful of how we live in our lives. But at the same time, too, it's just a lot of people misrepresent the love of God and how he truly wants us to walk because they have their own hidden agenda when you don't live up to their standards. And that's what's been nice to see, is being able to actually have relationship with people that I know they're about that life and they talk about it. Because it's one thing to talk about it and you're not about it.
Yeah.
and that's not uncommon in the space either.
The hypocrisy.
So
Yeah.
you feel me? So it's just been nice, and as far as like just being able to see the light and the attention that it's been getting, even from like mainstream, it's been very refreshing to see, because it's like, bro, labels are even looking for that.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, like we want that.
I've been noticing too. It's like, I think with the times and everything, the sound, because I've listened to Lecrae since 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like,
I've always listened to Jesus music.
oh yeah, what? So, but even for me personally, you know, it's like I tend to lean more to like secular music, but now I've like, that's what I'm getting at, is like there's people especially in the Christian space, rap, you know, hip hop space right now, where it's like it sounds more modernized and like talking about more relevant things, or just in a different way that's like not like preachy, but just like music, you know what I mean? And not just like having you like talking around God, and not like directly as if like do this, and you know what I mean? And then like bringing up like past worldly struggles and things like that in the music, but being able to tie it back to God. It just sounds a lot, for me personally. I've been listening to more Christian music. I like Hovey.
Hovey's dope. Hovey's dope.
So it's cool. I've listened to Caleb a few times too. He drops a song like every week,
bro. When I met him, that boy, what is it? Caleb actually showed up because we had like dinner when we did the In Love video, and he showed up and he was just like, yo, I'm getting ready to drop a song like every week, every Sunday.
Word.
And for like a whole year straight, it was every Sunday he dropped a record, and he did not miss.
That's like what Russ did. I guess
whether the
that's
quality
the sauce,
was
right?
there or whatever, bro. I tell you, I kid you not, I saw that man go from here all the way up here, and it was really just him being consistent in what he had. And that's going to be the hard part, because now everybody's so stuck on, I want to go viral. It's like, how you want to go viral? You ain't got no foundation, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you ain't even shooting content.
You don't even want to put in the work for that. It's like, you just want to go ahead, record a song, and you want it to go viral. It's like, it don't work that way. You don't want to make, like, you don't want to do the groundwork. You just want it to be kind of given to you, because either I've been doing this for X amount of time, or whatever. It's like an entitlement thing. It's like, bro, God don't owe us anything. Everything that we have is really just a gift. You feel me? So I think that's dope. I don't listen to a lot of Hovey's music, but I know a lot of the stuff that he does as far like one of my favorite songs from him and Lecrae is there's a big guy through the city. I know the spirit move through the city. I can't remember what it's called. Walk. It's called Walk. Walk.
I don't think I've heard it.
It's drill. It sounds so
Maybe I have.
hard.
I don't know.
Yeah, no. Well, it sounds like Pop Smoke. I ain't gonna hold
Got you.
it's like that type of beat, but it's just like I don't really listen to that type of like music. But when I heard that, I was like, yo, you start going crazy. You're like, you sure this is about Jesus?
Right.
Like, you gotta check yourself.
Wait a minute. Yeah.
But nah, it's been dope, and even
it's cool to see. It's cool to see that people are, finding him, and the world is so dark right now. I think that it's only right, and there's a reason that this is all, it's that Christian space is flourishing right now because it's needed.
I think it's dope because one, you see a lot of those artists where it's like they're not afraid to step into the places that aren't Christian, and I think that's what's gonna help. Because at the end of the day, it's just like the Bible says it, where it's like, for God, there is no darkness.
Well,
wherever he
Jesus was hanging out with prostitutes and
exactly
drug dealers and whatnot.
All
you
type
know
of
what I'm saying?
People,
evil,
bro, but not doing what they did.
Right.
And I think that's where people kind of get it mixed up, where it's just like, oh, you're with those people, so you're doing what they do. And it's just like, nah, fam. Like, I'm showing them there's a different way to live. There's a different person to put your hope in, and this is what he's done for me. And if he did it for me, I know he could do it for you. But God is so amazing that He's like, yo, I'm not gonna force myself on you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm here. Come holler at me when you're ready. But if not, ain't no pressure.
Yeah.
So
Nah, that's what's up. It's cool. It's cool to see. Cool to see
yeah.
the music industry and
I think
that
it's fire
space.
because now when you go
Yeah.
on like Amazon Music, they have a section now that says Christian hip hop. It says Christian pop. Like
Nice.
I was like back then, all I ever saw was gospel.
Gospel. That's
Everything,
what they called
everything
it.
was just like it's gospel music. And
That's
it's
what I
just,
was getting at.
yeah.
We was listening to gospel. Now we got some more modern day
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Christian hip hop. You know what I'm saying?
Feel me? But it's fire though. That's the thing. It's just like just because it's centered and it's has a message with the faith in it of just how you believe with God. It's like it doesn't mean that it has to be watered down. You wanna execute it.
Yeah.
You wanna make it be like, yo, like you don't have to listen to the music that gives you destruction. Like this music is just as fire and it's giving you life.
Facts.
And that's what people want, bro. Like you mentioned, it's so dark and it's just like when you turn on the news, how often do you ever see anything good?
Never. Rarely.
Exactly. I feel like the media is
5%.
trolls.
Yeah.
The media is trolls. They're gonna show you all the things to be panicking about. Have like a second to show you, oh, like so this is a good thing that's happened, and then after that, and it's hard to find hope in a world that's only showing you darkness.
All right, we're going to play a game real quick.
Okay.
This is a first.
Okay.
A first on Stolen Conversations. Let me know if y'all like this. We might do it on another episode. We do a lot of firsts on this show. All right, so it's pretty easy. You probably heard it before. I'm going to say a word.
Okay.
Or phrases. There's only one phrase, but all the other ones are words. There's 5, maybe an extra one, 6 of them. And then first thing that comes to your mind. Could be a word, sentence,
Okay.
time, whatever. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
First thing that comes to mind. Forgiveness.
Forgiveness starts with forgiving yourself.
Music. First thing. You ain't got to think about it too deep.
I'm like music. I'm like,
you don't got to get all philosophical.
Nah, it's okay. It was like with music. I was like the first thing that came to my mind. Probably because I was like listening to it, Drake.
Tug of War.
I actually have a song called Tug of War. Yeah, I actually got a song called Tug of War. But I think about elementary school. Those, like at field day, you play Tug of War.
Got you. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Love.
My niece.
Relationships.
And I was like, I know I'm not supposed to think too hard, but I'm like, relationships in what way? Just the word.
Just in general, yeah. Could be, whatever. Just in general, like friendship, friendly or romantic. What am I trying to say?
I don't know. Relationships, the right ones can get you far.
Cool. Last one, revelation.
That I'm more than equipped to do what's in front of me.
Let's go. That was cool.
I thought about that yesterday, funny enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you did say you got that song Tug of War. I did see you got one album.
Yes.
That's on there. The Bear a New Name.
Yeah.
There was one record on there that I think I was gonna tell you gotta. I liked it. You gotta bring that that beat selection back. It was Love in My Life. Is it?
Love of My Life.
Love of My Life?
Yeah.
It's like a dance.
Yeah, EDM.
Yes. Yo, that was a vibe.
You know what's funny? That
was
was
a vibe.
That was actually like the song that my college knew me for. So when I got to open up for what's his name? The guy that sings I spy with my little eye.
Oh God,
I don't remember.
Graham.
Nah, I don't remember his name. But I get to open up for him, and literally it was like my biggest crowd of people, over like 500 plus students, that they were all singing "The Love of My Life." And every time
They knew it.
they knew it.
Wow.
And mind you, it's all about God. And I would literally, that was always a requested song everywhere I went. When I performed for the sororities, fraternities, things like that.
I think you should look into making some more
EDM,
that type of dance.
Hey, listen,
it's not even like not like heavy, but just like that 4 on the floor, the doon 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 doon, like.
Yeah, that was.
It sounded nice.
That was one of my favorite songs. I ain't gonna hold you. That was actually the song I was shy to sing, but it was the first song I sang, and the whole school would sing it. So it was dope.
Nice. That's always cool when the fans know the lyrics.
Right? I was like, yo. And then, my friends, they would hype me up. So
shout out to friends.
gotta love them. They would hype me up.
Besides music, is there anything else that you working on or you want to share with the people? I know we kind of just talked about the music, but...
Well, for the most part, I do have a new single that's coming out. It'll be out May 17th, so next week.
Nice.
I'm very excited for it. It's produced by the boy, Made. Very much excited for this record because it's different. You feel me?
What's it called?
It's called Due Time.
Due Time.
It is called Due Time. So with Due Time, it's very, as May likes to say, it's very musical. So you got the strings, you got the piano, you got like, it's just so musical, bro. Where it's just like
the orchestra,
bro. It's really just like, it's such a different side of me, but I love it because essentially the main message of Due Time is understanding that you're not in a place that you're healed fully, but you're acknowledging the fact of like healing comes with time, and that you're okay with that. You're acknowledging all the places of where you were hurt, things that you wish that were different, but in reality it's like this is just part of the process. And in that process is like God is walking with me through it, even if sometimes it doesn't feel that way. So that's kind of just where Due Time, me and Aaron was just talking about this, where it's like you got due season. So for the most part, it's just knowing that in due time, everything will take its course, everything will happen and fall in place the way that it's supposed to. So that's coming out. I'm excited for that, Mud.
You said May 17th?
May 17th.
It might be out by the time you guys see this video.
Yeah, it should be out.
I think it'll be out.
Yeah, May 17th. So if you want to go ahead, it's Jekasole, Jekasole, on all streaming platforms, and you want to just look up Due Time. And then outside of that, we got some special coming following months. We actually got like a project set up. So I'm really excited.
I was gonna ask you. It's been you ain't got no
hey,
album
listen.
in 5-6 years. What's going on?
I had a
I know.
Had to evolve and figure it out. But
got you.
Also too is it's like it's produced. It's the whole thing is produced by Made.
Okay.
So it's gonna be fire.
Made by Made.
Made by Made. So
you need a shirt like that, bro.
But no, it should be coming out either before the year is over for sure.
Sick.
So I'm excited about it. It's called Indifferent. So I'm just super excited about it. And it kind of just, the title within itself is like, it's essentially an emotional roller coaster in the sense of the highs and the lows of being in that middle place. You have days where you're happy, days that you're not feeling it, days that you're super sad, days that you're indifferent. You don't know how to feel. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited about it because it's very different. And like you mentioned, you've been listening to a lot of the music in the space. Ain't nobody talking about that in our space.
Dope.
So being able to do it is exciting for me to see how it's received.
Yeah, because you're not just... I had to listen a little deeper too.
Yeah.
You know, you're more of... You don't just stay in the Christian scene. You make kind of more... just like general pop, R&B type of music, but it's still more, focused on a positive message and, just better messaging.
Better messaging. You're not gonna hear no killing and robbing.
Oh man, thank goodness. Thank goodness. A breath of fresh air. That's all I can say.
Bro, that's just what it is. And I think that's what's been the game changer for me too, is not not allowing myself to feel like this is only one thing that I can do, but being able to know that, like, hey, my values are never going to change. So I can make a song like Love of My Life where I say God several times throughout the song.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can have a song like Separation Anxiety where it's like I'm really talking about my struggles, but at the end of the day, it's like the person that's able to bring me through this, I'm going to tell you about him.
Yeah.
Just in a different way where now the ears of the listeners who probably have feelings towards the church or God because of whatever they've gone through, and the moment they hear, oh, you do what?
Yeah,
No,
right.
I don't want
That's
to
the
hear
thing,
it.
right?
So it's just like being
or as
able.
soon as you mention like Jesus or God in the song, even
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like it's cool to hear it slightly different, like you're saying, like talking about the struggle, the testimony, but then he made me through, but
Yep.
not being, I guess, so specific, direct. It's kind of like the back door, you know. You kind of bringing people in instead of
bro, it's a
slapping them right in the face.
It's a conversation starter because I do believe that the music is gonna go to whoever it has to go to, and sometimes you gotta meet them where they are, and that's not in any way to let y'all know that I am not ashamed of my Lord and Savior. I'm gonna make that very clear. However, for the most part, I do understand there are different ways that you have to be able to send your message so that it can be received. But trust, you get a conversation with me, you gonna know one way or another, this is what it is, this is how I live my life, and that I love God, and he's evident, he's prominent. So I just want to make that clear for anybody that try to come for me in the comments later.
That's what it is. This is what it ain't.
Basically.
Do you got any hobbies or like?
Oh, I do.
In your free time.
Oh yeah. My hobbies, I like to
what you
take
doing?
myself out. I take myself out to dinner.
Okay.
I take myself out to ice cream. I like to take myself out.
I take myself out on dates.
I do, and it's been the best thing ever, to be honest with you. So I don't mind taking myself out, go get my nails done, and if not, for the most part, I found that like I've always liked candles, but for whatever reason, Bath and Body Works has had me in a chokehold for the last like half the year with all their sales. So like I'll go and I'll pick up some of my favorite scents. I like to stay within the musk, so like the teak wood and all that stuff.
Got you.
So I don't really care for the fruity stuff. I like, my mom said, she's like, you like, it smells like
the
men
natural.
cologne. I'm like, I was like, I don't know, I just like it. It just smells nice. So
I mean, hey,
you know,
if you like the men's cologne, then it makes sense.
my dad is collector, like a connoisseur of men's cologne. So growing up, that's all I knew. So I was like, it makes sense to translate it into candles.
Yeah.
So I'll be by the pool. I'll go tan by myself. I'll go swim by myself. I have no problem taking myself out.
That's what's up.
So, but yeah, that's what I like to do on my free time. I like to take myself out, try different food places and things like that.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we about wrapped up. Anything else? I always ask. You want to share that you, or maybe you wish I would have asked, or we talked about that we didn't?
Trying to think.
Because you said you didn't have any expectations, so you didn't know what to expect.
I didn't know what to expect because I'm like, normally when I come in, I talk on like the pod and stuff like that with different people. It's just like I'll go ahead and look to see more or less what it is I can expect, but I realized like kind of going in there not knowing what to expect just makes it that much more authentic.
The organic and authentic, yeah.
I'd say for the most part, due time, May 17th. Then we got the project coming out before the year is over.
Let's
I
go.
promise. And then outside of that, I'm trying to think of anything else. Oh yeah, if you want, follow me on all social platforms. It's gonna be JEKAGOTSOLE, and on TikTok, you just go add a number 1 at the end. But outside of that, man, just thank you for having me.
For sure. We'll put all the all your social links in the description. People can tap in there. Any final thoughts or shout outs you want to give a special word to?
Okay. I want to shout out my dog, my best friend, my brother, Made Music. You feel me? at the end of the day, he always gets mad at me when people ask me, like, so what does he do? It's like, well, he does this, 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 this. He's like, bro, just I'm your friend first. So, so shout out to
That's
my
my
boy.
dog.
He set this whole thing up, and I can honestly say that for the most part, it's in us being friends. It's like we just been able to pour into each other's lives, where it's the relationships with other people outside of us have just been great. So being able to have that connection, I'm super grateful. My daughter went and killed it on the production. I'm just saying. His mom is on the strings in due time, so I'm gonna just throw that out there too. But outside of that,
shout out Mama Maid.
Shout out Mama Maid, and then my family for just always being super supportive, and then just anybody that's been with me from 2017, even before I even put out an album. You feel me? Like, I'm appreciative. The Soul Gang in the building. You feel me?
Let's go. Bars and baby hairs.
Bars and baby hairs.
Yeah. How'd you come up with that? Or how'd you get that?
So I'm gonna be honest. My homeboy, his name is DT. Oh yeah, shout out to the Hilltop. His name is DT. Before COVID came about, there was like a lot of challenges on IG. So I would do a lot of these challenges, not record myself, just get in front of a camera, start rapping. And he always would say, he's like, you're like Thanos when you just start rapping, bro. Like, just you be snapping. And I'm like, okay. And then baby hair's kind of, as you see, it's just a part of the brand. But he was like, bro, he's like, you got bars and baby hairs. He's like, you should make that a mixtape, bars and baby hairs. And I was just like, I don't know about a mixtape. And then it just became a slogan.
Right.
So everywhere I go, I'd be like, it's your girl Jekasole, aka bars and baby hairs. And it just sticks.
It does.
So, it's a part of that. And even
part
with
of the brand.
life. And I'm like, yo, it's like, I kind of like it. It suits. People do want me to drop a mixtape, though. This is bars and baby hairs. I told May that if we did something like that, the bars would be like the heavy, trap beats, and then the baby hairs is smooth R&B.
Got you.
But we'll see.
A little love and hate type of thing.
Yeah,
kinda.
take a page out the dreams book.
Hey.
Hey, bro.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you pulling up, making it again.
Of course.
Thank
Anytime.
you. Ooh,
did I drop it? No,
we're good.
We didn't. We saved.
If you made it this far, Stoli family, appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the links in the description. Go follow Jekka, check out some of her music, and stay tuned for the next one. Boop, 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 boop.
We out.
We out.
Yo, it's JC.
I'm Angel.
It's Top Notch Boy.
It's your frontline soldier, AR the Prophet.
Peon, y'all already know who it is, man. One time for Stolen, man.
Here with Stoli.
I'm here with Stoli.
Tapped in with Stoli.
Rockin' with Stoli.
Here with Stoli.
You here for another stolen conversation?
Stolen conversation.
Stolen conversation.
Stolen conversations. Stolen conversations.
Tap in.
Told you, hard times don't last forever. Now what's up and it's stuck forever. It get cold even the thick skin needs sweaters. Shit, I let my soul glow and it light up.